And welcome back to episode 183 of the Weekly Tech Rant with me, Jay.
And me, Carl.
Well, Carl, as promised, we have got our VR headset lineup this week, haven't we, that we talked about?
We have, yeah.
And, we're going to talk about 3 headsets we can't afford.
Maybe
the
3S, that's quite
maybe the 3S.
Priced.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe the 3S, maybe we can afford that. So as discussed last week, we're going to talk about the MetaQuest 3, the 3S, the HTC, Focus Vision, and the Pico 4 Ultra, but not in that order. We've also got the roundup of the latest news, and the Tech Rant Rumour Mill is back this week as well, isn't it? With a couple of interesting ones, I think. Well, kind of one of them is a roll-on from last week, isn't it? I think, to be fair.
Yeah. One of the news articles might be in the Rumour Mill, really. But hey, we'll take it.
I did wonder that, but I was going to argue about where do we put it, So,
yeah.
But saying that then, a couple more weeks in with the phone, how you getting on with it?
All right, it's still an iPhone.
I have to say, the camera is a huge improvement.
Oh, you went out sailing in Barcelona, didn't you?
I did. That makes it sound a hell of a lot more glamorous than what it really was. But we won't get into that.
These influencer lifestyles, man.
But I took some pictures whilst out, off the coast of Barcelona, and it is something else. I sent you some pictures, didn't I?
You did. Yeah. Look good.
And the
lighting.
lighting.
Use the capture button.
No.
Too much muscle memory.
Too much. Now, do you know what? You're going to laugh at this. I completely forgot about it until you just said it.
I know.
Right. But what I did do, though, was use the new... when you take a picture and you are in the camera, and it has styles, doesn't it?
It does. I've not really looked too much at styles yet.
The styles piece, I have used loads of those times. There's some built-in ones. I know you can build your own styles, and you can play around with the different kind of colors and lighting. But the preset ones that are in there, I have to say, are really, really good.
But
and
they
it
were
just
there
adds
before,
a little bit
they?
of.
You just
they
did
were,
it after the fact.
Yeah, but I think now they're a little bit more, because of that capture button. They're a little bit more front and center. And I have to say, some of the. It's not. I say After Effects. That's probably not the right word. We're not talking Photoshop here, but it just and the image stabilization has always been good on iPhones. But this was just something else. Whilst out on the sea, it was really, really good. I can't fault it at all. So yeah, for me, so far the camera is the winning piece. Of course, the watch still going strong. Battery life superb.
Yep.
I'm really hoping that we get the sleep apnea thing though soon. I'm kind of curious to try that.
Yeah. And December, so we got 2 months before Apple AI for us mere mortals in the UK.
And also the hearing aid thing. That's the other thing I'm kind of waiting for as well. I kind of, after being in some noisy environments this last week.
You got Apple Pro 2s?
Yeah, I got Pro 2s, yeah.
Okay, so you'll be able to use those then. Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, yeah. But yeah, I just thought it'd be good to have, kind of, as I've taken the camera out and used it in anger properly. And I hadn't really done that on my 14 for a while, but I just had that great opportunity. And it was the right time to do it, really.
I have no idea. Obviously, the last big place we went with the kids and stuff was Disney on family holiday. So I didn't have it then, obviously, because it was before September. So yeah, I've got any big events. Obviously, on the lead up to Christmas, now we're in that phase of the year. There'll be lots of going out with the kids and taking photos there. So it'd be great to try them out. Especially, we quite often do a light show. Light trial, that kind of thing. So it'd be great to see how that handles all the different kinds of bright lights.
Absolutely. I tell you the one thing I haven't tried. I had a couple of birthdays in the last week, family birthdays, and we did obviously the videos. One thing I haven't done, but I really wish I'd tried, was I took a couple of videos in 4K 60. I should have done it in 120 and had the slowdown, shouldn't I? Blowing those birthday candles out with the slow-mo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is it that you always think of these things after the fact? Right then, I suppose we should get into this week's story then. So, Carl, do you want to kick us off then? Let's talk about the Meta Quest, I guess, isn't that?
So the Quest. Well, we've talked about the Quest 3 before, but they have brought out the Quest 3S just recently, haven't they? So we thought we'd compare that to the new kids on the block, the Pico 4 Ultra and the HTC 5 Focus Vision. That's a mouthful. But yeah, so we've had the Quest 3 before. Really, the 3S is it's a cut down to replace the Quest 2, which has obviously gone out the door. So it's their cheap entry level headset. But what are you losing by going to the 3S? So the big part with the Quest 3 was the pancake lenses, wasn't it?
That's right. Yep.
Nice and thin, light in the headset. Kind of more consistent, clear edge to edge image with it. Now, Unfortunately, you're not getting those on the 3S. You're basically getting the old-fashioned Fresnel lenses from the Quest 2.
Okay.
You're not getting the dual color pass-through cameras, but you do get the Quest 2, which I've got, has standard black and white pass-through, which you're getting those as well. Actual screen-wise, though, you are getting a lower resolution screen. So you get a single rectangular LCD rather than two square ones, okay? And they are a lower resolution. I think they're 1800 odd by 1900, whereas on the Quest 3 you're getting 2000 by 2200. So a little bit of drop down there. You're still getting the fast refresh rates. You're still getting 120 hertz if the game you're in can push it, or your PC has the oomph to do it if you hook it up that way. You are getting things like a lower field of views. Basically, what you're getting, though, really, is the Quest 2 in a new package with color pass-through and a newer SoC. You're getting that Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2, the same as in the full-fat Quest 3.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how when I started to look at this, I was like, you start looking down the list of what you're getting.
Yeah.
And you're right. It just effectively is Quest 2 Alpha, isn't it?
So sorry, I think I said the 3S didn't have the color pass-through. It does. It's just not as high a resolution as the Quest 3. It's a lower res and color pass-through.
Yeah, I mean, cost-wise, I mean, it's obviously
289.
cheaper. Yeah, exactly.
First, 409. Because I think the Quest 3 is a bit cheaper on Meta's website at the moment. It's 409 for the 128 gig model.
And what do you have for storage on that as well?
Yeah, 128 as well on the 3S. So it's whether that extra, what was it, £120, do you want to pay that to get better color pass-through cameras, which I'm not bothered about, or the higher resolution pancake lenses, which I might, I would like. So is it worth it to you? Yeah, up to you, I suppose.
Well, I guess it depends what your budget is, what you're looking for, where you're upgrading from is going to be the key question.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you coming from? So it's just a slightly refreshed Quest 2, really.
So if you were like me and you're coming from the Rift S,
yeah, I mean, it still would be. It's I suppose just compare it to a Quest 2.
So I guess So for me, I would personally see a huge upgrade in what I've got at the minute. Yeah. But for you on a Quest 2,
it'd be pointless for me. I need to go for a full fat Quest 3 or a Pico 4 Ultra, or if money was no object, the HTC Vive one. Yeah. So that kind of rounds up the Quest 3. I mean, the Pico 4, I was trying to have a look to see how this was different, other than it's a different manufacturer. But it's very, very similar to the full-fat Quest 3. It's also got two LCDs running slightly different resolution. It's a 2160 by 2160 per eye, which is slightly shorter but wider than the Quest 3's screens. It only runs 90 hertz as opposed to 120 on the Quest 3. The cameras are better, though, so you're getting dual 32 megapixel color cameras. Right. The Quest 3 was an odd one. The Quest 3 described it as dual 18 PPD color pass-through cameras. A bit of digging around on Reddit, turns out they're only 4 megapixel each.
Oh.
Yeah, a bit like we put crappy cameras in there, but we'll kind of hide it. So, yeah, I imagine the AR, the pass-through, is a lot better on the Pico 4 Ultra.
Okay. I can take a step back a second. I mean, the one thing that the Quest really are looking for is not necessarily the PC VR, is it?
No. And so I was going to talk about that when I got to the Focus Vision. But yeah, they are standalone VR headsets that also do PC VR.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to dwell on that too much now, but we'll come back to that. But
exactly. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a slightly different field of view. Again, 100, basically slightly higher vertical, slightly lower horizontal. Again, it's just slightly tweaking the stuff here and there. You still get the same Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 SoC you get in the Quest 3, although it is paired with 12 gig of RAM rather than 8 gig on the Quest, so you might have a bit of a better time doing standalone VR games. But
okay, interesting.
It's a bit more expensive. It's a £529 starting price, but that does get you 256 gigs. So it starts at 256 gigabyte storage, whereas the Quest starts at 128. But £120 more for double the storage and 4 gig of RAM.
Yeah, and I saw there was a couple of things like it supports Wi-Fi 7 as well, doesn't it now? And
It does. No, it's 6E.
you know,
6E on that.
uh,
The Vive does 7, I think. Or was it
the
the other way
Pico.
around?
No, well,
Oh, Pico
well,
7. Sorry, Pico is 7.
yeah, the Pico is 7. Pico 7. The Pico 4 was 6,
That
and
was it.
6E for the Quest 3.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of you're just trading off on smaller incremental updates, really, isn't it? Then
Yeah, it's give here, take there. I mean, there's not much in it. So
it does look like though the Meta 3 and Pico kind of had a child, and the Meta 3 and the Apple Vision had a kind of
it does.
a child, and this is the Pico, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say now? The other bit is, I imagine the majority of games, standalone VR games, are going to be designed for the Quest 3 and 8 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
Not for the Pico 4. So will you see many games that actually can take advantage of that extra 4 gig of RAM? Possibly not. I mean, and the only other bonus is you're not going to need a Meta account with Pico 4. But it is owned by ByteDance. So they will probably equally be mining all your data.
I mean, that exclusive version of TikTok, I mean, wow. Let's go for that now, shall we?
Yeah, so, there's not much of a muchness. At the end of the day, you're probably better off than a Meta Quest 3, if I'm honest. If you were looking at between a Quest 3 and a Pico 4.
Okay.
I think. Well, the big daddy we want, though, is the HTC Vive Focus Vision. That's it. As you alluded to, yeah, those previous two, or three even, I should say, the Quest 3, 3S, and Pico, were standalone VR headsets, first and foremost, who also slapped on a bit of PC VR. But there are downsides to that. They say and we've mentioned this before, they connect via USB-C or Wi-Fi to the PC, and the PC basically has to encode the video output from your game to H.264, 265 before sending it down the cable or over the Wi-Fi, and the headset has to decode it and display it to you. So this is going to add latency, reduce image quality because of compression. And on the Quest 2, you can actually adjust the bit rates and stuff. Obviously, the higher the bit rate, the more processing power you need. Whereas the Focus Vision is a PC VR headset first that also does standalone VR. So you actually get things like native DisplayPort. It's still USB-C, but it actually has DisplayPort over USB-C, which the other ones don't have.
Which, if you think about it today, a bit like, well, actually, no. I mean, on the Apple one is still, being standalone PC VR is a bit of a unique standpoint now, isn't it? There aren't many headsets where originally that was the first.
Yeah, actual PC VR headsets. Yeah, you're right. It's the first. We had the Quest, didn't we? It was it wasn't Meta. What was they called? Oculus.
Oculus, sorry, yeah.
They brought in the very first Rift and then Rift S. Well, actually, you could buy the CV1, couldn't you? The prototypes, couldn't you? Direct from them while they were building it out. Yeah, and then we had Samsung did some. Acer. Who else did we have? A load of people did them because the Windows brought out mixed reality, and they were all aimed at dedicated VR headsets for your PC. But that's very much not the way anymore, is it?
No, not at all. And now it's very much the standalone PC less experience. As you say, with the games loaded directly onto the headset or through the phone. I
do wonder though, with what is Meta saving by not putting DisplayPort in the USB-C cable? I bet that XR2 SoC can do DisplayPort over USB.
I'm sure it probably could.
Well, actually, no, I know for a fact it does, because this Vive has a Snapdragon XR2. Not the Gen 2, the first gen, with 12 gig of RAM on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Handling all that stuff. So it can do it. Meta's just decided, for some reason, just to do it weirdly.
No, they've made a conscious decision, haven't they, that is not the way to go forward,
Yeah. So, but I mean, what else are you going to get here? So obviously you've got the native DisplayPort, so no latency, no reduction in image quality. You're unfortunately getting Fresnel lenses. You're not getting pancakes, but it's what they're calling.
No, don't stop.
I know they're calling it a dual element design for increased image quality. Now I've not seen any reviews yet. I don't think it even comes out to the 17th of October, but we'll start seeing reviews shortly. So hopefully we'll get an update on whether the image quality is better. But they are much larger resolution displays. They are 2448 by 2448 per eye. with a wider 116 by 96 field of view. So they are higher resolution images. Still only at 90 hertz, but that is plenty enough. And they also support foveated rendering with eye tracking. I can never say that word.
No,
But that's where they check where your eyes are looking on the screen and do a more detailed image where you're looking and a less high resolution image in your periphery. So,
and apparently the auto IPD thing I read about earlier was quite cool. That was a nice little feature.
oh yeah, exactly. It works out what your IPD is and just automatically changes it rather than you fiddling around trying to do it manually.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is one heck of a headset. Really impressive.
Yeah, and it does work as a standalone one as well because it does have the Snapdragon XR2. It has 12 gig of RAM. It has 128 gig of storage on board. Also has an SD card expansion slot.
Yes,
they just sell one model 128. Then you just put a 2 terabyte SD card in. Job done.
I saw that. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, these standalone ones are still really kind of mobile phone quality, aren't they? Games. So they don't need super fast SSDs to stream the high-res textures in because it just doesn't have the processing power for that. Also, very interestingly, it supports hot swap batteries and even has a kind of built-in reserve battery. So if you're mid-game, just take the battery out, plug a new one, and you don't lose where your game's going.
Oh, I like that. That's very cool.
Yeah, but I suppose that's probably not that relevant if you're hooked to a PC because I'm going to guess it pulls power via USB-C as well to power the headset.
Yeah, it would seem logical, wouldn't it? Given the head. But I mean, as headsets goes, I have to say, I look at the HTC website. It is a nice bit of kit.
It is. I almost pre-ordered until I saw the price.
Yeah, but I was just gonna. Well, I'll break that bubble for you. At just £1 shy of 1,000. Yes, if you order today, according to HTC, or you order by October 17th, I should state, you get the Vive streaming kit, which is DisplayPort adapter, 3 VR titles of your choice, and a game pack. Great. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So, yeah. I mean, the website was very nice. I was sold. I was like, oh, damn, this is really, really nice. I don't have that money right now.
No.
Maybe one day I could be that extravagant.
I know. Just wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it?
It would be great. Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to have one of these. I mean, but I think at the moment the best I can probably do is a Quest 3.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's 410. That's a reasonable thing to aim for, which won't break the bank.
Yeah, given what it does, and for me, I really do need to upgrade, my DCS experience, and also Flight Sim 2024 is coming out in a month's time, and I really want to do more VR with Flight Sim. I think it's a great game. I just didn't find myself as immersed in that as I do with DCS.
I think we had a bad experience to start off with. We were early days, weren't we, when we were trying VR there? It was quite an unoptimized game still at that point. And trying to run VR was like a slideshow.
Yeah, that's a very good point on that. I think it wasn't great. Now it is a lot better. I had a quick go recently.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the same.
No, I mean, I dived in probably 3 or 4 months back just to see how it was going VR, and it was a lot smoother, and I could bump the resolution up and get a higher quality image. It was good. I've not tried since I built the new PC yet. I've actually plugged in the VR headset yet, so I really need to get around to doing that and give it all a go. But I've been too lost in Grey Zone Warfare.
I was just going to say, Grey Zone is definitely sucking a lot of time for us at the minute, isn't it?
A lot of dying, a lot of crashing.
Good game, though. Good game.
Very
do recommend
good game,
you check it out.
Keeps me coming back. But we should probably move on to the next bit.
So I guess the question then, if you were to say, I need a new VR headset, but and obviously, so where would you place these? If you were going to choose recommending headsets, just from a personal opinion only, what would be your kind of? I think I know where you're going with the Vive, but
Quest. Realistically, Quest 3. If money isn't a problem, we know certain people where money is not a problem, and I would wholeheartedly recommend the Focus Vision. But for us mere mortals, I think the Quest 3, I think it's worth the extra £120 over the 3S for the better lenses, the higher resolution, all the other bits and pieces. The Pico 4, I'm going to put last. It's a Quest 3, but not quite as well supported and £100 more.
Seems fair. I think that's a pretty good.
I
roundup,
wanted to love the Pico 4, but that price, if it had come in at a similar price, the same price, or slightly less, I would have gone, you know what, I might give that a go.
I think when it was announced and I saw it, I was a bit like you. It was like, oh, this looks really good. This,
and it's not meta.
This will be a serious contender. But actually, when you break it down, it's not really giving you much, is it, for the money?
No.
And also where it sits within the market. It doesn't really, I don't think it offers it.
I doubt the software is as polished as the ones on the Quest either. They're fairly new to it's the Pico 4. They are fairly newish.
Yeah, it's just not offering anything, is it, personally?
No, it's not offering anything above the Quest 3. Certainly not for £120 it works out more.
But yeah, I hate to say we recommend the Meta, but
yes, because I really don't want to, but
no, but
we're in a situation still, aren't we?
We are, and I don't think there really isn't any strong contenders, is there, at this time?
I keep hearing that Samsung are going to bring another one out, but I believe that.
Yeah, and the same applies with Apple. Apple, you can't even bring Apple into this conversation because it doesn't work outside of its ecosystem. It doesn't, there isn't really any kind of PC VR equivalency on a Mac, is there, from a gaming perspective?
No.
So it is a fantastic device in its
but very niche.
field, but exactly, very niche indeed, very niche.
And that's saying a lot since VR is quite niche in itself.
Well, yes,
the niche of the niche.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, that's probably a good place for us to move on then. Thank you for that roundup. I think it was a good way to kind of check in. It's been a while since we've had a chat about VR headsets, and it'd be great if we could get an upgrade. Maybe we need to find somebody to sponsor us.
HTC.
Please sponsor us. You send this one. I will make sure that thing is thoroughly tested. I can guarantee you.
I will do the podcast in VR.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, talking about something slightly more controversial, you may recall a little while ago when Microsoft announced their AI-powered PCs, or AI PCs, wasn't it? One of the features they announced was Windows Recall, which was effectively an AI-powered backup, wasn't it? That take a snapshot of everything you were doing
Screen recorder.
On that PC. Yeah. So that if you ever had a problem, you just flick a button, you go back in time to where that was, and you're great. Problem was, this was an opt out. You were already opted in, weren't you? It wasn't turned off initially. There was a lot of worries from a privacy perspective about what was going on, because it took shots of everything that was happening. There were concerns from privacy, security, where was this being held? And it basically blew up, didn't it, in Microsoft's face?
It did blow up massively. In all fairness, I think the mainstream media didn't help on this one because it was all locally. It wasn't being sent off to the cloud or anything like that. It was all done locally, but it was a big hoo-ha. So Microsoft kind of paused this, haven't they, for a while, went back to the drawing board and kind of not build it from the ground up, but built a lot more security in it, okay? So for starters, it's now opt-in, and users can uninstall the feature if they don't want to. So it's just a Windows feature you can basically uninstall or reinstall.
Yep.
But by default, out of the box, it is installed, but it is off, and you have to opt in. What else have done? The Recalls database is now fully encrypted, which it wasn't before. So, that's a big flag, but now fully encrypted. But with the encryption, basically means you have to have a trusted platform module, which basically every PC ships with nowadays. And certainly those AI PCs, as most of them call them.
But you can't really run Windows 11 really without TPM, can you? So
you can turn off the check and you can run it. But yes.
But out of the box.
Out of the box, no, you need TPM anyway. So you need TPM, you need Windows Hello for authentication. So the user must physically authenticate with fingerprint, face recognition, or a PIN to kind of activate the feature. They, rather than just doing the processing purely on the machine, it's now on the machine in a virtual-based security enclave. So isolating that sensitive data from the rest of the Windows OS as well. So it is now doubly secured there. And you can also do things like filter specific apps. So if you don't want to record data from certain applications or websites, That can be all configured now, so you can turn that off. You can also go back and delete sensitive information it may have picked up if you want to. So they are giving you a lot more security measures and control over what it records and when.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing. And also, you have to be present in a lot of places. Security has become the forefront of this, hasn't it? I think, being present as a user to turn it on, You've got to use Windows Hello, as you say, the encryption of the whole piece. It's leveraging the Windows Hello mechanism, so what they call proof of presence, using Windows Hello. So you've got the whole secure piece, TPM, the Hello sensor, whether it's face or fingerprint, that secure enclave you just mentioned. All of that together is, I think, is trying to reassure users, plus the security community, perhaps, I think is a good way to look at it.
Definitely. I imagine corporations.
Yeah, that Microsoft are taking this far more sensibly.
That will be turned off in corporations.
Oh, of course it will. But you're right. From that other piece, though, the fact with the granularity of the fact that you can save things, a storage way to do it, what information, what applications, even websites, I believe you can start to block as well. Yep. So it is exceptionally granular. I think, for many users, this is a great tool.
Yeah.
Very helpful, very useful. But you're right, for enterprise, this will never see the light of day.
No, that won't even be installed.
No. But fair play to Microsoft. They've gone away. They haven't killed it. They've come back. They've tried to reassure people. They've tried to provide a little bit more transparency, I think, around what's happening under the hood. Yeah. And you know what? The feature is about. Let's be honest. It's not. The concept is not new at all, is it?
No, it looked like a good concept. I like the idea of it, but as with all things, it's the implementation, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you look at Time Machine on a Mac, okay, it's not doing the same thing about screenshots and everything I'm doing, but I can still roll back in time and do all that kind of stuff off the machine. It's all, if it's running, and it's okay. Granted, I have to turn on set it up, but the basics are still there. So I think as a concept, it isn't a bad idea, and I personally would say, if you're not a corporate user, probably a good tool to have at home. Especially if you're worried about backups and data, especially in this world of ransomware.
It's not a backup feature.
Well, no, it's
basically a search feature. You can search through back everything you've ever done.
Yeah, it's an AI search feature.
Go back in time and restore your PC to that, like the Time Machine does.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes, sorry, yes, not backup. I mean, the search feature. It does allow you to go back in time to recover things.
I don't know,
but not in a sense that you can restore.
You couldn't restore a file, but you could, if you had it open, you could see the contents of it as such.
That's it. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yep.
But I know. I think I haven't seen it personally in a while, but I'm interested to see actually how much it.
You need a Copilot Plus PC though.
Oh God, yeah, don't we all?
It's like my PC, I'm sure, with my Nvidia 3090 and my AMD whatever, could handle this, no problem.
I'm sure it could.
Yeah. Now, talking of Nvidia, actually, is our next story. But just before that, actually, Windows 11 the new one has just dropped, 24H2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've downloaded the ISO yesterday afternoon, but I've not had a chance to install it on anything yet.
Okay, has it got what? And is recall in there?
I think so, but again, you need a Copilot Plus PC. So updating to it won't help me to test it.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, it is dropped. But yeah, as we were saying, Nvidia, and this is kind of a rumor, kind of news, somewhere in the middle. But we did talk about 5090. Was it last time? We did vaguely mention it. There were rumors it might have been dropping shortly. Yeah. Well, we have more specs on this now, don't we? This is from was it Copper? Oh, what's his name again? Who's the leaker? Copy 7 Kimmy. Yes, yeah. He's quite accurate. He's dropped a lot in the past, and they've been right. But he has the specs for the 5090 and the 5080, and the 5090, if true, is a monster.
That's probably one way of putting it.
It has got 21,760 CUDA cores. Now the 4090, which is already considered by many to be a beast, only has 16,000 cores. So they are slapped in another 5,000-6,000 cores in there. They're upping that 24 gig of RAM to 32 gigabytes of GDDR7 RAM, so up from the old GDDR6X, and it's running on a much faster interface. It's running on a 512-bit interface as opposed to the 384-bit on the 4090. But
this is a beast.
With great power comes great power. Because
no, great power comes requirements of
great
a
power.
power station.
600 watts of power for the card
God.
at full whack, apparently. I mean, we all balked at the 4090 when it said 450 watts.
Yeah, this is insane.
I've got an 850 watt power supply. So if I was to buy a 59, I'd need to go and buy another power supply, I think, because I don't think that would handle it with everything else.
Well, I think you'd be bouncing off the top of your power availability.
I think my games would be crashing for reasons other than poor coding.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, one hell of a machine if you had this in it. But
I mean, that's got the same GRAM as you've got RAM, hasn't it?
Yes, it is.
yeah, 32. Yeah, I'm just saying 32. Most people don't have 32. Most people have 16 still, or 32 maximum. And that's
I mean, this thing's probably more powerful than my PC, probably, actually.
It suddenly sucks down more power.
Oh, Christ, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it's on a hell of a machine. I would love one of these. But I'd have to sell probably parts of my body, somebody else's body, to be able to afford one.
Two of the kids,
and a kidney and a liver, and whatever.
So look at that.
We don't know any pricing at the minute.
That 5090 looks like an absolute monster. The 5080 looks like a bit of a disappointment.
Well, they always do, don't they, when they start seeing the top?
But because the 58, so that's the next step down, and that's only comes with 10,700 CUDA cores. Well, the 4080 has 9,700. You got basically another 1,000 CUDA cores, which, considering you got 6,000 or 7,000 more with the 5090, it's a bit of a change. And you're only getting 16 gig of RAM, the same as the 4080, though it is that faster GDDR7. But it's on the same interface, the same 256-bit memory interface. And it does require more power still. So those extra 1,000 CUDA cores means you another 80 watts, taking you up to 400 watts on that card.
Everything needs more power. Everything.
It does.
There's no escape, is there, from that kind of
no
power? I
might have to look at buying like an 1,100-1,200 watt power supply.
God, when were the days when, do you remember we used to have 500 watt power supplies, and that was top end?
That was massive overkill, wasn't it? For what you're putting in there.
Nothing required that much power. Well, it depends. I guess if you're running Intel CPUs, then
Well, yeah. So an Intel CPU, the 4900K plus the 5090, you need a 2 kilowatt power supply easily.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it sounds a lot of power, but there's a reason for it, isn't it?
Yeah, this is just a cut down version of their AI accelerators, isn't it?
Yeah, and also it's that connector on there, which is isn't it 12?
The 12-pin,
12 VHP HPWR connector, which was there, which is now the standard across the thing. This isn't about them sucking power, but this 600 watts there is there for a reason. It isn't because they want to chew more power out of it. It's because it has to, doesn't it? And PSUs, let's be honest, PSUs 600 watt are standard now. That 600 and above, I should say, are standard power supplies. So we're laughing, but I think it's because for many years we were at lower end requarements.
When we came in the 286 386 era, things have changed a tad since then. But yeah, I mean, I've got a 3090, so I'm in that weird one. Well, I have a 12-pin connector because it was a fans edition, but it's not the new 12-pin connector. It's missing the sensing pin on it.
Okay.
So I can't buy a new power supply, but has the 12-pin on and plug it in because that doesn't work. So I have to take the 2 8-pins and use a converter.
Gotcha. Okay.
What a pain.
That is never good.
So I'll get a new power supply with the 12-pin connector built in, make it look a bit neater, only having one cable running rather than two to it. But I can't do that. I'll just have to buy a 5090.
I was just going to say, you're going to have to, aren't you? You're going to have to.
Just so it looks pretty.
Yeah,
but
I know Let me say it was a rumor, but I do think it's probably more than a rumor, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it'll be close to that. And the weird thing is, it's only going to be a dual slot GPU, apparently.
Yeah, how do they do that?
How are they getting
humongous.
600 watts of heat out with a dual socket unless it comes with a water block?
Well,
unless it comes with one of those all-in-one ones on a 5090.
I mean, yeah, and let's be honest, the vapor chambers that they build down these things are very impressive, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, mine's a 3090, so and definitely less power than the 4090 or 5090, and that's still for all intents and purposes, a free slot cooler. I mean, it might be 2.5 maybe, but I'm not getting anything in the slot next to it.
Well, I wouldn't worry. I can't afford it.
No, neither can I after upgrading the CPU and the motherboard and the RAM.
Oh dear, you're right. I probably should have been in the rumors, but I think that's probably knowing Nvidia. That's probably more.
It's probably not far off it.
No. Well then. So last week, you will recall we talked about that you mentioned that the Apple M4 Macs are already shipping, and what we meant by that was we reckon they're already in the stores prior to launch, don't we?
Yes.
Well, there has been another leak now, hasn't there, around the packaging of an alleged M4 MacBook Pro that shows the cores and information about the storage and the memory as well, doesn't it? So, what we've had here is shared on social media by Shrimp Apple Pro. I do love that one as well.
He's quite accurate as well.
He is. It looks like the back of a standard MacBook Pro box, showing a 14-inch MacBook Pro with M4 chip, 16 gig of memory, 512 gig of storage, and it looks the base model will come with a 10-core CPU and the 10-core GPU.
Well, that's up from the M3 because the base M3 has 8 cores, doesn't it?
Yeah, or and CPU. The packaging also states, now I can't see it very well on the picture, it might be just my eyes, that it comes with 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports as well.
It does, yes, apparently 3. So again, we only got 2 on the last one, didn't we?
It does. So coming in black as well, which would be nice.
Space black, no longer space grey.
No, and those black shots we've seen before, I do look good. I'm exceptionally. I'm looking to my left of here, my M1 Pro MacBook with 16 gig, 512.
You're going to take it out the back and shoot it.
You've done me very well, and I love you very much. But it's time
to go to the great scrap heap in the
no, it won't be. Macs live on forever, my friend. I tell you, they do. I've got my 15-inch MacBook Pro 2012 in the drawer. Bit of lamination around the screen, but it still boots up and works. You know.
Yeah, I've still got a 2012 one floating around. I think it still boots.
Yeah, it does good. It does good.
No one uses it, but it still boots.
I am very tempted by this, so I will have to go. I've decided I don't know how I'm going to afford it. Maybe I'll have to sell a child again. I'm running out of children to sell. But I think because I want to get at least minimum 3 years out of it, I want to go 32 gig of RAM minimum and a terabyte storage.
Yeah. You can't.
And I use it all the time. It is my daily driver. I use it all the time. I run virtual machine, on it as well, Windows virtual machine, and of course that Apple Intelligence features, so it would be very good. But yeah, it does seem to clarify or quantify, however you want to describe it, that they are coming. So I'm come on, let's get out. Let's
soon we'll have an event or an announcement or some sort.
Yeah, just do it at PR, and I can then work out a way to sell.
Use that credit card.
Yeah, don't. So what else we got in the lineup this week for Rumours?
Well, this is something we were expecting, but also something slightly weird. So Mark Gurman, in his Power newsletter, basically said that Apple is set to launch 2 versions of the HomePod with a display next year. So we have talked about HomePod with display before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
So apparently he's saying there are going to be 2 models now. There's a low-end model, codenamed J490, which is going to have more of a squarish display. It's going to have an A18 chip, a camera for FaceTime, and hand gesture recognition. It's also going to have Apple Intelligence on it on board, because we obviously have no HomePods currently that do Apple Intelligence. And this is where it gets slightly weird. So we have the high-end model, the J595, which is also going to have everything from the lower model, but also have a larger display and a robotic arm.
This robotic arm puzzles the hell out of me. I'm not entirely sure what that really means.
Does it have a robotic hand as well, or just the arm? Maybe I'm going to presume here it's so the screen follows you around the room. As in, whenever you look at it, you can always see the screen.
Or if you're doing FaceTime or anything like that, you're right. Yeah,
it can lift itself up and make it more like it's in your eye line.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you're in a kitchen and you're FaceTiming your friends or family and you're cooking or you're doing something. And as you move around it tries to track you. That's what I'm thinking.
Is anyone asking for this? Because this is meant to be over £1,000 for the high-end one. So what was the high-end HomePod, the original one, the big one? That was
400, 500, I think. Yeah, 400. Yeah.
Okay, so we're adding a display. So okay, let's add just that, or let's add £200. Does everybody want to pay £400 for an arm?
Well, people said that about the Vision Pro, didn't they? And
no one bought it. All they did, they took it back.
But you say that, but people have bought it. Lots of people have bought it.
Yes,
not to the same degree, but people will buy this. They will.
I'm gonna have to see this one. I think just even to believe it.
I would be down. I'm down for a HomePod with a screen.
Yeah,
I'm down for that massively in my living room or my kitchen diner. That'd be awesome, actually.
But it doesn't go to say. So, is there also a difference in the number of speakers, bass, quality of the audio between the low end and the high end, or is it the same speaker part?
I'm thinking perhaps probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, but they're both apparently running Home OS, aren't they?
Home OS, yes, not Home
new
OS,
but a new OS, no. But apparently based on tvOS. They're allegedly going to merge the two, aren't they? tvOS into Home OS to power all your smart home needs.
Come in one.
Yeah.
Well then, I think that's it. No, I think we're dry now, Rumours, aren't we?
We are. No more.
Well, that's probably a good place for us to wrap up for this week then. We'll be back next week for episode 184 with all the latest tech news and stories. And of course, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, we're on YouTube as well, our weekly tech rant. So I've been Jay.
I've been Carl. Have a good one all.